Mark, and good morning. Hello. Listen to that. That's so exciting. So listen, I couldn't be happier and more excited to be here today with Ramon Ray, Seth Godin, and all the other speakers and presenters. But really what I'm most excited about today is being in a room full of small business owners, because not unlike you, I am one. And so I feel a special kindredness with you guys and a special duty to really deliver something so valuable today that you're able to take this back to the office, make some changes that will have a long-lasting and positive impact on your business. So hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Lisa Hendrickson. I'm an award-winning serial entrepreneur, business strategist, and I'm president of Spark City, where we work with purpose-driven entrepreneurs to build companies that make a positive impact. Our work lives at the intersection of personal success and business growth. My PowerPoint? PowerPoint?
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. And look at that photo.
Next.
Okay. Hey, there I am. So before we get started, I am going to introduce you to my father, Stuart Maxon. He's been gone for a long time, but he's really the reason why I'm an entrepreneur. So my dad used to go to work, and he was really super hardworking. And he would come home from work, and he would tell me these great stories about the people that he met when he went to work. So in like the third grade, I decided that I was going to go to work. And I started carrying a briefcase to school, like for real, right? So one day, my third grade teacher said to me, like, what's the deal with the briefcase? And I said, well, you know, I'm going to work. And she said, well, what kind of work? I looked at her like incredulously in that New Yorkie way and went like, you know, work. So I didn't really know what kind of work I was going to end up doing, but I just knew that my dad was really happy and excited to go, and I wanted to go and be that, right? So it's his legacy that has me be here today. And my dad, you guys, was a plumber. And I didn't know what he did, and you should just know that no matter what you do for a living, you never know the impact that you're going to have. So I got mad props from my pops, and I got mad love, and let's go on. So after years, I really started thinking about what is it that I genuinely believe about business. And we've all done all different kinds of work. Just the kind of work that Ramon was talking about. I'll do it for $5,000. I'll do it for $49. But I have a few guiding principles after all the work that I've done. One, I believe in the simple, elegant solution. Things that we do, things like pricing strategy, are deeply complex. These are complicated things. We live in a data-driven society. It's really difficult to get to a simple, elegant solution. Yet when we achieve that, we can go, why, yes, of course. And so does everybody else. So I believe deeply in that. The second thing I believe in is delivering with impeccability. Because when the background stays in the background, when the technology works, when all of your materials are set up, people can then do their best work at the forefront. There isn't the distraction about logistics not working. And lastly, I believe in 360 degrees of wonderful. I want wonderful for every single person that's in this room today, and every single person that we get to touch with our work. Why? We're swimming in a world filled with mediocrity, where things move faster and faster, and people don't care about what it is that we're delivering. And the more that we're swimming in that, the more I care about delivering with 360 degrees of wonderful. So my promise today in this presentation with you is to deliver on that. Okay, so a quick note about listening. How many of you have downloaded an app in the last 2 weeks? Just raise your hand. Yeah, most of us have, right? Okay, you know how they have that little checkbox that says, I agree to terms of service? Outside of any lawyer that would be in this room, who actually read terms of service before agreeing to it? Nobody, right? There's not a hand in here. And even if you did read it, you're probably like, don't even want to admit that you actually read it, right? So we unconsciously agree to so many things in life, and I want you to get really dialed in to actively think about what you're going to agree to. So when we come to presentations like this, we listen from a number of ways. The first way we listen is, I like her, I don't like her. I like what she has on, I don't like what she has on. Fair enough, right? That's one way. Another way you could be listening to this presentation is, I've already heard this before, I've tried it, it worked, it didn't work. Okay, you could listen from that. Third way you could be listening is, everything I have to say has nothing to do with you, and that I'm actually speaking to the person sitting next to you. It's an appropriate time for you to work on the grocery list, look at the Facebook feed. Or lastly, you could be listening to this presentation from a place of value, that what you hear here today could be so valuable for you that it will change the nature of how you do your business. And I want you to take 5 seconds to actively decide at how you're going to listen today. And you're not going to raise your hand. You're not going to tell me how that's going to be. You decide for yourself. Make an active and conscious decision. How are you going to do this? Okay, somebody's still thinking. Okay, we're going to go on. So here's my request for you today. I want you to bring your A game. What if what I had to say to you today would change how you did your business? What if you actually brought yourself to this rather than just another way that you sit and listen to most things? What if you could bust out your superhero business suit for this next 30 minutes and have something amazing happen for yourself? My request is that you take on bringing your A game. Will you do that? Raise your hand. You say, no, I'm not going to. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to talk about pricing. And I want you to know everybody's got stuff about money. It can make you feel happy. It can make you feel sad. You might feel confronted. You might get angry. You might feel confused. Or none of this will happen for you. I have no idea how it's going to be for you, but however you're going to be about it, it's just okay with me. Just know that oftentimes, and you know this as entrepreneurs, this is a roller coaster. And when we talk about pricing, you might just get on it. Okay, you guys, pricing is at the heartbeat of your company. And remember when I was talking about complexity? These are highly complex relationships. It's a symbiotic relationship that we have with pricing at the center of finance, marketing, and sales. And what happens with that is that because oftentimes we work in silos in those areas, when our employees are salespeople, our marketing people, our finance people, even if they're outsourced, are not speaking to each other, we have competing activities happening. And so oftentimes, you as the entrepreneur are trying to manage this overarching strategy, which oftentimes just sounds like, I need to sell something. So when your salespeople are selling things, and listen, this is point number one, most of the time you have set them up to do sales and hit a gross number, right? They have to sell $100 this month, $100,000 this month, whatever your number is. And they sell things without really getting what the gross margin needs to be. So we sell on volume and not on margin, which sets into motion your finance people losing their mind. Because the salesperson, in order to make a quota, is going to sell the house. And the finance people are like, holy smack, we need more margin than that. And then the marketing people, who traditionally, by the way, should be running pricing, although usually the finance department is, are usually left out. Or the salespeople, if they're not selling, will blame the marketing people. So we have a vicious cycle around this symbiotic relationship. So you should know that marketing owns pricing, although the way that we behave is that finance department owns pricing. And this drives your entrepreneur crazy. So people, if you haven't written this down, the real goal of pricing, right, is to create a reliable model of profitability from the sales that the business generates. And your goal as a business owner is to create stable margins in the business. To create stable margins in the business. This is how you can send your kids to college. This is how you go on vacation. This is how you sleep at night. Creating stable margins in the business. So often people are willing to drop their pants and go, well, a sale is a sale. But we're going to talk about if that actually is really working for you guys, right? So this, as a business owner, is your strategy around pricing. Is to create stable margins within the business, okay? Okay, now to add even more complexity, we are living in a post-recession market confusion state. So prior to the recession, we would see some consistency around pricing. But one of the things that's happened is with the squeezing of the middle class, you and me, included in there, we have had to see a change inside of this market. So let's think about some of your favorite restaurants, right? There used to be like a diner culture, and people used to have like 100 diner menus, like items on a menu, right? And now those things can no longer be sufficient to keep the diner open, so the diner would close, and what is replacing the diner is a really short menu of small plates, right? Small plate restaurant. That has to do with pricing and margins. And what happens to a service culture when margins are shrinking? Service goes away, right? We can't afford to actually offer people service. The other thing that's happened is the Grouponization of America, where everybody needs to buy something with a coupon, which, by the way, isn't really true, but we just have set an expectation with pricing that with that Grouponization and that couponization, we are driving a service culture down. So we are left with thinking about pricing in a very different way, which makes pricing even more important in this new next economy. So let's talk about retail and what's happened in retail, right? Luxury segmentation. Some people have more money than ever. More money than ever. And luxury has really grown. And so if you're serving the luxury market, you're feeling pretty good. If you are going to a discounter like a TJ Maxx or a Nordstrom's Rack, right? Those companies are doing great. As a matter of fact, Nordstrom's Rack is producing better financial results than Nordstrom's is right now. Right? And you're seeing the shrinking of a mid-market boutique brand. So you're seeing Kate Spade stores go away, and you're seeing Michael Kors go down market. You're seeing this inside of retail. This all has to do with the squeezing of the middle class and the loss of disposable income, right? So segmentation in those markets has changed. So we're having a massive change inside of the market from globalization and technology, right? We have strategy and best practices are changing, and your industry trends are changing. So you are in the center of all of these changes. And again, if we were here all day, we would spend more time talking about what this actually looks like for you. But know that you are in a confluence of large macro trends impacting disposable income and how people are engaging with the marketplace. So pre-recession, most of small business was dealing with pricing in one of these ways. In post-recession, small business is dealing with pricing in most of these ways. And this is killing your business. We're going to talk about each one of these. We have a cost plus pricing, which is basically a back of the napkin pricing. I always look at it as it's sort of like the cash accounting of pricing, right? It's like I paid $1, I'm going to charge $3. Let's go to the bar and call it good, right? Not a whole lot of work. The second is competitive pricing. So often what you're seeing is people saying, well, my competitors are charging this for that, so I only can charge this for that. Given what your business is and you are only doing competitive pricing, it means your competition is telling you how much or how little money you are going to make, right? It is a reactive business strategy based on somebody else's business strategy that tells you how you're going to run your business. Again, not effective. Fixed cost pricing. So you guys, does it cost the same to run a business in Kansas City as it does in New York City? No. So what people will do is go, okay, well, I paid $1, I'm going to charge $3, but since I'm in New York, I'm going to charge $3.10, because like that's the genius move. And that's not working, right? We have volume pricing. You're like, I'm going to buy a ton of this stuff and then I'm going to sell a ton of it. Except that usually you have inventory left over, and you know the longer you have inventory, the less it's worth. The more you have to drop the price, the more money you lose. Small business usually can't do a volume play with inventory, especially when you're having large box stores be able to drive that volume discount play. You as a small business cannot participate there. Not only is it a race to the bottom, but you usually are just in business to maintain the business. You're not actually making any money. Then we have specialist pricing. And so sometimes what you'll see is a company will feature just one product, and let's say you put that out on Google Ads or whatever, and what that ends up doing is focusing on the price of that one product rather than the uniqueness of the product. And having a one-of-a-kind small run is about a specialty product for some very good customers, but we lose sight of what a single product, a unique specialist product pricing is. And then we have loyalty pricing. Ladies, who goes to the mani-pedi place that says you buy 10 and you get the 11th for free, right? I want you to understand there is no free. There is no free. Somewhere in that other 10, you've already paid for the 11th, right? And unless you're doing this wrong, which by the way, 99% of you are doing that wrong, you're thinking I have to give somebody something for free, right? Down the road. What that really is doing for you is undercutting the value of your good customers. Your good customers will pay for that. What if you actually threw in a paraffin wax and raised your prices by $3? Would those really good customers still come? Yeah. Would you make more money? Yeah. Right? The only reason why we have loyalty cards is to really reinforce price as a way to have people come back. And the minute you go to raise your prices, you lose those people. So by using these common small business techniques in this post-recession market, you are not going to be able to get the kind of cash in the business to allow you to grow, right? You can get cash in the business, but you're not going to have profits in the business. That is really what the problem is for small businesses right now. So we're going to talk about 3 relatively easy steps to profit. One, we're going to talk about entrepreneur's mindset. When we are growing up, we're taught to be really good consumers, but we're not taught to be really good entrepreneurs. So what happens for us is that we get really focused on empathy, which is great, by the way, as a small business owner. But what we do is that we think if we wouldn't pay for it, well, our customer isn't. The second thing to talk about is customer to product pricing. And we're going to spend a little bit of time on what customer to product pricing is. And lastly, we're going to talk about discounting versus experienced buyers. I just want to make sure I have time to do this. 1, entrepreneur's mindset. So one of the things that we're really great at as small business owners is being passionate advocates for whatever it is that we're selling. And we really want to solve problems for people. And we really do love our customers. And we want to go all full nerd on telling people about all of that stuff. Problem is with that is that it disallows a deeper way of engaging with the customer. We have to go beyond that in order to hear different opportunities and possibilities to be able to provide something for the customer. Listen, I believe deeply in the earnestness to really help people. But when we're only thinking that that person is going to buy from us and because that's how much we would pay or that's what our reasons to buy would be, it doesn't necessarily extend to your entire buyer group. Now, this is the part where you should take a picture with your phone, okay? This is the way most product pricing is done and small business is done. You have a product. You say it costs me $1. I'm going to charge $3. Then I think about the value proposition for the customer. And then I think, how am I going to sell this to somebody? This is classic junior level small business thinking. I paid $1. I'll charge $1 for it. Then what do people get? Oh, I don't know. And it's local. Hey, it's local. My vegan soap. I made it in my house. And then who are your customers? This is a junior level conversation that is killing your business. You were able to float this in pre-recession, but with all this confluence of change, we must change this up. Here, take this picture. You start with customer segmentation. All your marketers know this, right? Then what value should your customers receive? What is it that the people that you are serving are interested in serving, right? What do they want? Not just because you're passionate about it, but what do they want? What is the pricing model? So when you go into a store like a Banana Republic or a J. Crew or any of those things, you see dresses or pants, $79, $79, $79, $99, $99, $109, $139, $139. Do you think the cost of all those things are the same? No. They have a pricing category that is attached to the value and the customer segmentation, right? And then they know what kind of costs, material and product costs, production costs can go into that. And then they pick the products for the people. Most small business will come and say, I have a really great idea for a product. Hey, I have a great idea. This is something that bothers me. I'm sure this bothers other people. And that is the starting point, but it is not the end point of how you should be pricing for your segments. Customers have different reasons for wanting your products and services, and you have to start by deeply engaging outside of what interests you to what actually interests them. Creating a value-based, customer-centric model will have you be able to develop what's the goal of pricing? Stable margins in your business, right? That's how you get there. This allows you to have consistency inside of the business to allow you to have your business grow, right? This is how we do it. It means you can't use the back of a napkin. I paid $1. I'm going to charge $3. Let's call it good. Go to the bar. Doesn't work. Oh, I'm having a Spark City aha moment. Common mistake is to assume the objective is to set a price for the product rather than the customer segment. Okay? So here's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so I like to bust this out for people because I want you to get the lower people are on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the more price sensitive they're going to be. The higher up they are, the less price sensitive that's going to be. Why? Because when people are worried about how they're going to make their rent, they're going to be much more price sensitive than the people who are aspiring to how are we going to achieve something. So for example, this is the reason why dollar stores are doing really well still, because people need to make it to the end of the week, and at the end of the week they know that they have $1 for toilet paper instead of $10 for a roll of 12, for a pack of 12. Then they are able to do that. And you have to determine inside of your business, who is it that you want to serve and where are they in taking care of their basic needs? You can Google this. You can find this on Google. This isn't a special magical Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? So we have two different experiences. So we have a discounter. I like to call him Dick, the king of couponing. He comes into your business and he's like, this says that it's $17. I will give you $10 cash money for it. And you look, and he thinks he's doing good. And I'm like, maybe not so much. Why? Is Dick going to come back over and over if you drop your pants to go and make that number for him? Probably not, no. And if you can't come to an agreement, or you say, Dick, next time you come in, it's going to be 11, he's going to go, no dice. I'm going to go down the street and pull the same thing on somebody. Then we have your favorite customer. Your favorite customer is like, I get that it's $17 and you might give an extra service because you like them so much and they're going to come back. They want to see you be successful. They want you in the neighborhood. They want to go to the parties that you're having at your store or for your business. Those are the people who understand that if you make some money and that they get customer service and that there's not a problem, you should be serving them. And here's your problem as entrepreneurs. It's the human condition where you think fairness is what you have to put across and that you have to treat these people the same. But the thing is, you do not have to treat these people the same because they are not treating you the same. Dick is not hanging out for you, and they don't really care that much about your business. Go to Groupon. Right? And by the way, if you're a small business, quit doing Groupon. It's no good for you. And we talk about that sometime later, right? So you want to be able to cultivate the relationship of people who actually care about what you do and what you provide to people. Being able to develop your business around these people will have your business thrive. They understand the value that it is that you're driving. People who are buying solely on price, these are the people who want to pay $1 at the end of the week for the roll of toilet paper, are not going to be the ones that you're going to stair step and build your business. Right? There's two reasons why people buy from you. One is because you can problem solve for them, and the second is that they have aspirational reasons. You want to help them with their dream rocket ship go to the moon. Neither is better. We just need to identify who wants what from you. And this is your starting point. Who is, needs you for problem solving, and who needs you for what they aspire to. People, because I have 2 minutes, shopping is a feeling. People buy out of emotion, not out of reason. So we try to sell on reason all the time because I'm this and I do this and it's really good. And no, people buy from people that they like, that they connect with, that they trust. Shopping is a feeling. Are you Walmart? I'm going to answer that for you. No. Quit saying we're going to roll back prices so low we can't even tell you about them. Because all that leads to do is the next day is you just get to pay your employees and you make no money. So you're not Walmart. Here's what you want to know. What people usually do when they want to increase margins is they reduce fixed costs or reduce variable costs. And if you look at this, you can see that there is profit improvement if you do these things. But I'm here to tell you, if you increase prices by 1%, your product is $100 and you start charging $101. You can see a profit improvement of up to 11% in a service business or 7.1% in a product business. So if you do anything, if you heard nothing that I said today. Go and raise your prices by 1%. Your customers will not leave you. You will improve your margins significantly and be able to start rolling your business in another direction. Want more of me? 444-999 Spark City. I have a week-long video course you can do called The Shift Method, and my book is coming out in the next couple of weeks called Boom, Demystifying Innovation. How disruption drives companies to transform or die. We'll send you notices about all of that. This is the picture time. So you guys, thank you so much. It's really my deepest wish for you all to go out there and deliver your special goodness and magic that only you in your small business have. And if anything that I've said today helps you along with that, more power to you. Thank you. Woo! Woo! That was 30 minutes.
Let's I'll get this clicker out of your hands and make it more comfortable.
You need that.
Let's take one or two questions. I do want to give Jen plenty of time, but maybe some of you have questions. I mean, the question I have is, why do they have 9s all the time? Don't answer that, I want to take away. So we'll take two questions, one over here and one over here. We'll take you and you. Please remind me, Mbu. So, please.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ruchi Pinniger. I'm a small business advisor. My company is RP Business Advisors. My question is, and this was really great, by the way.
Thank you.
How, when you think about the consistent margins and the importance, how do you, I know it's not an easy answer, but what are you looking for in a service business in terms of margins? What are like the minimums you can really tolerate?
Totally a great question. So listen, depending upon what kind of business you have, you want to be able to set industry standards, and there's ways to look. If you're working with an accountant, you should be able to look at that. My company actually offers services where we give you a base number to start looking at inside of whatever region in America that you're working out of, and we say this is what a comparable business P&L will look like. These are what your margins look like. And if you're not matching to it, how do we make adjustments inside of the business so that you can then actually go ahead and make appropriate decisions about how you should change your product and service? So one of the things you want to know is there is no standard. What there is specific to your own business, the type of business that you're doing, right? So a software implementation company will have different margins than a PR company, right?
Where do you get those?
And follow up afterwards. I'm so sorry because I just went a tight boat.
Okay,
And
sorry.
we're making an exception to Krista. Like when I wrote my bestseller, Facebook Guide to Small Business Marketing, I like to have a picture of her with the book all bookmarked. So Krista, ask your question quick. Then we'll go to this young lady, and then we'll move on.
Thank you. I'm Krista Cloutier of theworkingartist.com. I have an online business school for artists that I've been running pretty much consistently throughout the year, but now I'm going to start running it once a year. I notice my competition, a lot of online businesses don't post their price until the class opens. Do you recommend keeping the price secret like that, or do you think give people a chance to save up for it and know what they're in for?
So listen, there's no quick and dirty way to know, right? With other things. It depends on what did we learn? The customer segment. It depends on the customer segment. And I would never think about price as a surprise. What you want to be able to think about prices is attracting the people you'd like to have a long-term relationship. Ladies, think about it like all the bad dates you had until either you married your husband or found like, or you're like, oh, no, 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 no. Yes. Think about it the same way. Okay? Anything else? Anybody? Oh, okay. Hi.
Hi, I'm Sarah Jacob. This was really interesting. I'm an outsourced CFO for small and growing businesses, so this was really cool for me. A lot of times people come to me wanting me to do this cost plus thing.
Right.
Can you talk about confirmation bias and the perception of something that's a higher price actually being more valuable?
So yeah, so one of the things that we have to do with pricing is, again, with customer segments, as you move up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, what people will see as valuable and the drivers around valuable will go up, and the importance of price goes down. When we look at where we're going to price, we still want to have something in the realm of fairness, fairness yet scarcity. And it's walking a balance, right? Pricing is part art and part science. And mostly it's 80% art that comes from how do we envision what deep value we have inside of that. So when we try to go just nuts and bolts around the numbers, that's not where the dance and the love comes from, right? When you really, 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 really want something and it's more expensive than you imagined, somehow you figure out how you're going to get that, right?
And with that, I know we've taken 5 minutes of Jen's time, but can we give Lisa, Hendrickson, a big round of applause?
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you very much. And Lisa, thank you. That's a small token to say thank you for your time.